So this lovely little gem came across my radar this morning, and I've already done one clean run through the demo. Suffice to say, I am stoked. So right off the hop here, strong aesthetic and art direction. Kinda feels like, as I said, Nier meets Returnal. Left stick to move the camera with the right stick, standard third-person action fare, right? We'll just go ahead and start dashing from now. Yes, I know how to jump. I have, in fact, played Mario. So, this one feels a little bit weird at the outset. However, I can see myself warming up to it pretty quickly. So, your dash and your dodge share a button. Peculiar, but easy enough to work around. So, double jumps, dash, jump midair, etc. Almost Warframe in a way. Using the anchors in the air will launch you to the next platform. When the icon appears, press left trigger and follow it up with a dash or a jump to adjust your landing. So, these shiny things. Bloop, and away we go. And these can be chained for all of your Space Ninja needs. So this shares controls in a vein similar to Neo or Nier or Devil May Cry, in that the attacks are on the face buttons. Skills are triggers and a combination of face buttons. But for now, you run up, you smack the thing, dodge. There are perfect dodge mechanics, which you just saw there, where my character split into 4 and counterattacked. So, the auto lock-on switching is really nice. Never found myself fighting with that, which is more than I can say for some other games. Alright, use your available skills to attack the enemies. Skills take time to recharge. Nano Blades. Launch lethal energy blades from a distance, or Blink Strike. Instantly vaults flux to the enemy for a single violent strike. So, now that we have skills, this opens up the ability to do some truly absurd things. And a little bit later, when we unlock the other character, you can see even more. But for the time being, you're now in Devil May Cry mode. Blenderize all the things. Get your perfect dodges, and you win.
Your siblings stood no chance. Wonderful.
It is a little bit peculiar having pickup be bound to clicking the left stick, but it works. Jumping over here. Okay, so we kinda already showed you this, but enemies' heads will flash red right as they're about to attack. That's your cue to start thinking about your perfect dodge. So after your dodge, you do have to attack again to execute the counter. So, yeah, just be aware of that. Now, the thing I do appreciate, which I kind of skipped over while I was reading the tutorial there, is that the dodge is an animation break. So it does not matter if you are mid-swing, you will dodge. Right, specials. Charge your special skill by performing combos. Using it consumes 1 charge. Destroy your enemies with Flux's special by pressing right bumper. We're about to get anime as fuck up in here. Deleted.
Well done. Who might you become?
And that is the extent of the tutorial you get. Run number 1. On this save, at least. So coming through, there seemed to be some variation to biomes. Again, this is a demo, so I wouldn't expect the world from it. But, if all of the other biomes, as you progress through the game, have this much character, I can see myself spending quite a bit of time in it. Other creepy disembodied voice, flying enemy. Flying enemy must go first, because rules. Nope, another one. That won't do. How rude. You dodged. Now, there is a style meter, very similar to Devil May Cry, that interacts with how much currency you get for each individual room. This is a roguelite. So, each time we clear a room or loot a chest, you get an option for upgrades. So, we have Lingering Charge. After using nanoblades, our melee attacks also shoot projectiles, reducing all skills cooldown when you kill an enemy for half a second. Or a basic lifesteal. So, when I was playing through this earlier, the lifesteal could be cool, but I think we're gonna go with Nanoblade's Lingering Charge for the time being. There is a decent amount of exploration built into the game, so keep an eye out for alternate paths, which I always appreciate in a roguelite, just because otherwise it kind of starts to feel a little bit samey. Alright, so why don't we just not deal with you, yeah? Good night. And you can free aim your abilities as well as lock on, so those of you who, for whatever reason, like to play these games on mouse and keyboard can enjoy mouse aiming. I will say the soundtrack and overall design together present a phenomenal, cohesive experience. I am absolutely on board with everything this wants to sell me. Go away. Alright. Spirit Blade inflicts a needle storm on enemies when you use Blink Strike. Grants a chance for spawning an orb when the player basic attacks enemies. Grants a temporary critical chance boost for all characters when you kill an enemy with Blink Strike. I think we're going to go with the dot. So, like I said, be sure you check all of the rooms just because there are alternate pathways. We came from over here, I think. It is really easy to get turned around, or perhaps that's just my inability to tell east from west. We have taken a little bit of damage, so I will grab this health bar. Bloop. But, yeah. It's pretty. It runs pretty well. There was a little bit of shader caching when I first opened it up. It seems to be less bad this time, so there does appear to be persistence between iterations of opening the game or not. We talked earlier about how Metal Eden didn't save your shader persistently. That seems to not be the case here, so that is greatly appreciated. And now, we have the second character. Odachi Bro. Eku. That's a big bonking stick. And that's really just for one thing. So, the way this works is at any point in time, even mid-combo, you can change character by hitting the appropriate D-pad button. So, this guy has a ground cleave, which sets enemies up for an air juggle, Echo Blade, which is an AoE sweep, and Echo Strike, which is a single hit that is designed to delete people from timelines. However, he is significantly slower than Flux, as you might notice. So, the idea is you bounce between and absolutely just blenderize people. And I am here for it. That's a little bit of a waste, but it's fine. What are you doing? Get out of here. Alright, let's plonk those guys up in the air just to get some breathing room. And yes, you can follow that up with a jump into an air slam, and it is great. Alright. So we saw orbs before. Max health, sure. Boost the damage of Needle Storm against enemies below a certain health threshold. I guess let's try the damage orbs. I didn't try that one before. We're still doing okay on health. Took a few unnecessary hits, but that's all right. Up we go. I still haven't really noticed if there's like things like secret walls, but as I said, I've only done the one playthrough so far and wanted to bring y'all this as quickly as was reasonable. All right, you know what? You gotta go. Good night. And that could have gone better. Just attacking straight into the wall there. You know what? No. Anime pose. Get deleted. And you can go directly from the perfect dodge into a skill, which is also really cool. It really just seems like the game wants you to flow. Just flow. You know, it's like the penguin from Fight Club. Just slide. Alright, S rank. Let's see if we can keep it. Get bonked. Alright. Release a damaging energy pulse when you kill an enemy. Increase the total amount of orbs. Orbs deal additional damage for other orb equipped. Huh. Why don't we try the AoE explosions? What are you? You look weird. There are secret walls. Nifty. Oh, I kind of hate this. All right. So this persists for 3 combats. All attacks are crits, both mine and bad guys. Deal more damage, but suffer more. Or all basic attacks and skills heal you by a fraction of missing health, but you lose health every 5 seconds. But you lose 10% health every 5 seconds. So if we're looking to explore at all, this one seems like a bad idea. Let's just go with do more and receive more. Be boring here for a second, yeah? Because we are actually at not great health for the time being. Alright. Grab you. Over we go. Like, the game really seems like it wants you to just enter that flow state. It is really nice. All right, you go away. You. Good night. And because we picked up the ranged, or melee swings now also do ranged attacks, we were able to take out that flyer without needing to spend skills on it. Now let's swap over to this guy. Just for the sake of... Ow! Let's see. Can we get rid of one? Yes. There we go. Not bad. Alright. So Eku's ground cleave impacts nearby enemies and knocks them over. Heals you for a percentage of the enemy's health if they're killed by Flux's ult. Reduces all active cooldowns when Eku's skills hit more than one enemy. I think we're gonna go with health just so I don't embarrass myself and accidentally die while recording. And over we go. Wait, so this one was... That's where we came from. So you remember what I was saying earlier about how easily I get turned around? Case in point. Doop doop doo. Ninja running over here. So now that I saw that one wall that has cracks in it, I'm perhaps a bit more paranoid about checking for other walls with cracks. Hello, chest. What do you have for me? Wretched Desperation. Boost the damage of Eku's ground cleave. Sure, I'll take a flat damage buff. Why not? I would have preferred a heal. But, you know, make do with what you get. Cracks? 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 Are you cracked? No. Fortunately, we are a murder robot, and we just whiffed all of our attacks there, which, admittedly, worked a lot better in my head as I was formulating the sentence, right up until I failed to push buttons. Blenderized. Good night. And we got the 10% heal off of the perk we picked up. How about all of you stop? Like, it's just pure spectacle joy. Like, how can you play this and not be a little bit excited? All right. Small drone. One drone. 1 second attack interval for a little bit of damage. Might pull aggro, might not. I haven't noticed yet. Crit chance boost. This one really only seems like it would apply on Eku. Let's go with the drone. You know, taking my own advice about how anything that helps you share aggro in a roguelite is OP. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to kill me or not. Yep. Okay. I thought that might be a secret area. It wasn't. Let's look up here. Hello, health. Cracks? 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 No. No cracks. Moving on. Hello, more health. Anything over here? Oh, yes there is. The question is, how do we gingerly, perhaps more importantly, how do we get through that? Because I don't think I can just dodge through it. Oh, I can. Never mind. Here I am overthinking things. Again. What do we got? Dangerous Daze. Increases chance of a crit while attacking stunned enemies. For double the crit. Why, yes, I would enjoy that. Thank you. Alright. More murder bots. Come to me. So you can actually break their shields, but it's kinda not a great use of your time or your skills. But I appreciate that it's not just a one-trick pony when it comes to dealing with enemies. So you can do it the correct way, or you can bash your head against the wall, and it works eventually. In this case, they're shields, and not walls. Oh, I think we have a flyer. We do. That won't do. All right. Sharpened edge. That's 3.5 times more damage. Yes. Rebounds Needle Storm to its nearest enemy. Or instantly kill. No. 3.5 times damage? Yes. Take that every day and twice on Sunday. Grants Echo's Echo Strike a bigger range. Sure. Why not? So we could go that way. But there's a glowy thing. So let's go see what the glowy thing is. What are you? Ah! We have reached the end of the demo. So, I will slow this down and freeze it at the appropriate point, but if you look here where it says deconstruction completed, 90% complete, estimated completion 08, question mark, 25. So that's your demo. It's a pretty quick run through. Like I said, I had played it once before, so I have the benefit of foresight. Now, if we go to restart iteration, we'll get a quick look at what I imagine will eventually be the hub world. So you spawn in here. Yep, it rebound my controls again. I kind of hate that. Anyway. So, if we come look at all of these. So this is where you will start to get your meta progression. So permanent upgrades. I'm assuming this will be based on a per character basis. This one, you've got a different set of permanent upgrades by defeating sentinels. I'm guessing those are area bosses. And upgrades through Corpora by completing challenges during an iteration. I'm wondering if maybe that's the Devil's Bargain that we picked up earlier, or if that's more achievement-based kind of things. I did it again. Why do you rebind my controls? I kind of hate that. And over here you got your lore codex, which does what it says on the tin. Now, as for the demo, you can go ahead and rerun that as many times as you like. But that's a real quick run through of what we have on deck so far. So, Let me know what you think of this new format here, specifically for things where I want to get content out to you as quickly as I can, regardless of how busy the day job is. When it comes to Morbid Metal, I'm a fan. If the full game keeps up this kind of pacing and balancing and isn't overly monetized all to hell, well, we're going to be playing a lot of it on the channel. Anyhow, I've been Bald Squid. Catch you next time.